Check test 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check test 1 2 1 2.
Sounding beautiful so far.
Okay, very good. And it always helps to have the pep band playing.
They do a nice job.
They do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the weather might be a little bit on the rainy side out in central Wisconsin, but it's going to be rather warm and hot tonight here at Assumption High School. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CentralWisconsinSports.net. I'm Van Patrick Oates along with my broadcast partner tonight, Brian Kalish, and we are here at Assumption High School for this conference game between the 1-1 Marathon Red Raiders and the 2-1 Assumption Royal Ladies. This evening's live stream is brought to you by the Coosa Port Edward State Bank, Marshfield Clinic, Paper City Savings, and Renaissance Learning. And we thank all of those individuals for help sponsoring tonight's and all season long video streaming of these ball games. So the Marathon Red Raiders come into this contest having played in the Antigo Holiday Tournament. They had a tremendous game against an outstanding Marshfield Tigers ball club. They lost that game by a final score of 56-53. And one of the things in talking with head basketball coach Jeff Snyder of the Marathon Red Raiders, Jeff was talking about they were down by 11 points at the half, and they actually trailed by as much as 17 points, Brian, in that contest. And one of the things that Jeff was so proud of the young ladies was that they just didn't have that quit attitude. And that's the really, really great thing about this Marathon Red Raiders ball club.
Yeah, I mean, they're a very talented team. I think a lot of people were expecting them to compete, obviously, for the conference title again this year. And, you look at these two teams, and I think everybody's expecting them to do really well again in conference this year. It's sort of been a battle between these two for the last couple of years. So it's an exciting contest, especially the first conference game of the season.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you what, and so then Marathon, so that was the opening of that holiday tournament up in Antigo, and then Marathon played a Saturday afternoon contest against DC Everest, and they won that contest pretty easily. One of the things that Coach Snyder was talking about, solid job of pressuring defense, and he said that really kept Everest off balance most of the afternoon. They had their hands on the ball a lot in the majority of that contest, and he was talking about the senior play of Anderson, Julia Anderson, and she was really kind of the individual that got everything started for the Red Raiders in that ball game, and just he was very proud of her efforts. One of the other really great things that Jeff was extremely proud of his club, they went to the free throw line 18 times. They shot 13 of 18. That's a pretty good percentage when you talk about it, Brian.
Absolutely, especially for an early season contest, kind of getting the jitters out of the way and being able to make those free throws. And, one of the things that Joe Burkhauser talked about after the last game that Assumption played here against Loyal was just the high level of competition both of these teams has faced early in the season. So, you've got Marathon going against two really quality opponents in Marshfield and DC Everest, and then of course Assumption playing Loyal and Neillsville, and then beat Columbus pretty bad. So a lot of good competition early, and this figures to be a really good game as well.
So Jeff Snyder was also talking about keys for the ball game, and I mean this goes back, to last year when Marathon beat Assumption twice, both very, very close games, and I know that is in the back of Joe Burkhauser's mind, the head coach of the Assumption Royals. But Jeff was talking about the keys to the game tonight, and that was to keep Zerflu in and out of the paint. That was, he said she had some tremendous games last year based on that, and then really limit the touches to Gina Grunhofer, the senior from Assumption.
Yeah, and I think if you're playing Assumption, those are the two players you kind of have to keep an eye on. Macy is so good at driving to the basket and drawing contact, as we saw against Loyal. And Gina's just an all-around tremendous player. So, like we saw against Loyal, they were triple and double teaming her pretty much any time that she got the ball. She's very good, effective inside, and she's very good outside shooter as well. So those are the two players you probably want to shut down if you're Marathon.
So the Assumption Royals come into this contest with a record of 2-1, beating Columbus Catholic 63-23 in the opening game of that Cranberry Classic. They then went into the championship game against Loyal, and talk about an even game, back and forth. And they beat Loyal by a score of 54-53. The Royals were led by senior Gina Grunhofer. She had 17 points in that contest. Autumn Linsmeyer had 20. Macy Zerflu also had 11 for the Royals. And in that contest, Assumption actually had a 9-point lead at one point in that contest. Loyal came back, and then the Royals trailed at half. They were actually down by 4 in that game, and then their little spark plug, Autumn Linsmeyer, really kicked in defensively and offensively as well to lift the Royals to victory in that contest. The Royals also lost their opening game to Neillsville. Close contest by a final score of 55-52. Talking with Joe Burkhauser, he really thought, some of the keys to tonight's contest, Brian, was really going to be the pace of the game. Stay within themselves. Be patient. And he said, Marathon likes to push it. They really like to push it. And he said, sometimes, if you stay within yourselves, you can really kind of, you can stay to that 40, 50 point, because you don't want to go over 50 points because it's going to be tough to win from that standpoint.
Absolutely, and I think it'll be key to see how Assumption comes out intensity-wise, because I know that was a problem that they had against Neillsville. They showed good intensity against Loyal, and particularly in the second half, though, so I think you're going to want to pay attention to the level of intensity from the Royals coming out here in this game.
And that was one of the other things Coach Burkhauser talked about: play solid defense from opening tip to the end of the game. That was a big concern of his tonight. And then also watch the turnovers. So I asked Coach Burkhauser what he thought about the Loyal contest, and I said, what were some of the positive things? He goes, well, I was happy with the win.
Hard to argue with results.
It's hard to argue from that standpoint, and so we certainly understand. We're going to have our invocation at this moment.
Father, the communities of Marathon and Assumption, their families and friends, gather before you to give praise and honor to your name. Through this event, help each of us to grow, mature, and witness your presence in our lives. We are a community of people with various backgrounds and abilities. Help each of us, Father, to do our best and to be supportive and respectful of others. Amen. Everyone, please remain standing. Joining the singing of the national anthem.
And now we'll have our national anthem.
Under the direction of Holly Thomas.
national anthem under the direction of Molly Thomas and Assumption High School Pep Band. And now tonight's starting lineups for the visiting Marathon Red Raiders. Senior guard, number 3, Julia Anderson. A guard, number 12, J.C. Bloom. Another guard, senior, number 14, Morgan Rayque. Forward, number 23, a senior, Olivia Moret. And also forward/guard, a senior, number 32, Natasha Honke. And the Marathon Red Raiders with a record of 1-1, finishing 11-1 in the Marywood South last season. So now for the home Assumption Royals, starting lineups look like this. Senior number 10, Mason Krings. Senior number 14, Gracie Wendels. Senior number 20, Autumn Linsmeyer. Senior number 24, Macy Zerflu. And senior, averaging 14.5 points a contest, Gina Grunhofer. Brian, let's what are your expectations for the contest here tonight?
Well, I mean, we've been live streaming these games for 3 years between these two teams, and all of them have been very, very close. So, I expect a well-coached game, not very many mistakes, and, the team that takes care of the ball the best and probably shoots free throws the best might come out as the victor tonight. So we'll see. We'll kind of see how it plays out.
There we go. So we've got Anderson, Bloom, Rayque, Moret, and Honke on the court. Grunhofer, Zerflu, Linsmeyer, Wendels, and Krings. And we're just about set for action and tip-off here at Assumption High School. And the tip-off won by the Marathon Red Raiders. And we're just underway here at Assumption High School. And thanks for joining us here on the broadcast tonight. And inside, and first turnover of the contest by the Red Raiders. Zerflu drives the lane, puts up a shot, blocking. Foul on, that is on Bloom. That is her first. That's one of the things that Coach Schneider talked about, limiting Zerflu in the paint.
She's just so good at knifing into the lane. It was a good play by her to draw the foul.
Krings to inbound for Assumption. Gets it inside to Zerflu. She puts up a shot. That's blocked. Rebound. That's Rayque. So Marathon averaging 22 rebounds per game this season. So they're doing a really, really nice job associated with that. And that was a concern of Coach Burkhauser for the Assumption Royals, to really limit the Red Raiders on rebounding, offensive and defensively. There's a shot put up and in by Honke. And Natasha gets her first bucket on the night. And we have a 2-0 Marathon lead. Turnover by Assumption. Ball inside. Put up by Honke. And that is knocked out of bounds. 2-0 in favor of the Red Raiders, 17-10. Just underway here at Assumption High School.
Of course, you'll see both of these teams play a pressing style defense. So anytime a team makes a basket, that's to their advantage because they can set up that press.
Rayque inbounds it to Anderson. Now Marathon being patient. Drives, puts up a shot. That looks good. And there's Rayque with her first bucket on the night. And it is a 4. Yep. It hasn't been marked off on the scoreboard yet, but there we go. So Rayque to attempt the three-point shot. The three-point finish. 3 points on the night for Morgan. Assumption inbounds. It's a 5-0 Marathon lead. 16 minutes and 50 seconds left to go here in the first half of play. We're still trying to get used to this 18-minute halves here, Brian.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Zerflu Cross-court pass. Grunhofer at the top. Now drives the lane, looking. Gets it poke checked away. And they're going to get a reach-in foul, and that is on Moret. So Moret with her first. 5-0. Our score, Marathon with a 5-0 lead over the Assumption Royals early in this contest. Krings to Zerflu. She puts her shot up and in. Zerflu with her first bucket on the night, 5-2. And Macy will try to capitalize on a three-point play here.
That was the exact same play that Assumption ran on one of their last possessions there, where Zerflu kind of curls around the free throw line. Last one, she kind of mishandled the inbounds pass and didn't get the shot up, but that one she made and was fouled.
And in and out, no good on the free throw. 5-2. 16 minutes and 20 seconds left to go here in the first half of play at Assumption High School. Anderson drives, she gets tied up. Linsmeyer, they're going to call that a jump ball. Possession, Assumption. Checking in, Allison Stieber for Marathon. Assumption to inbound the ball. Zerflu will bring the ball up for the Royals. Pressure in the backcourt. Krings. Grunhofer at the top of the key. Krings back over on just outside of the key. Wendell's with it. Zerflu drives, puts up a shot, no good. Rebound, Marathon. Long pass to Honky. She puts it up, and that's in.
Really good half-court defense so far by Marathon.
It's a 7-2 Marathon advantage. Grunhofer to Zerflu, top of the key. Now looking to drive the lane, be patient. There she goes again. Shot, scoop shot up and no good. Rebound by Marathon. And are they going to get Macy with that? And we'll see what. Yep, White. Autumn Linsmeyer. So Autumn will pick up her first. It's the first team foul on the Royals. 3 team fouls on the Red Raiders.
This trend of missing shots is something we saw Assumption kind of suffer through against Loyal too. So I'm sure Assumption fans are kind of hoping that the lid was going to be off, but so far they've struggled to make shots.
That's right. So Marathon trying to set up everything at this point. Honky out top of the key. Now will drive the lane, kicks off. Shot put up by Bloom. That's no good. Gets her own rebound. That's no good. Ray Q had great positioning on the inside, Brian.
Yeah, Linsmeyer was really in a bad position there for the foul. That was her second in about a span of maybe 20 seconds.
So 14:59 left to go here in the first half of play. And Morgan Ray Q put up a shot. First free throw. And that is good. 4 points on the night now for Morgan.
Olivia Skiba checking into the game.
And that is a little bit of a surprise because we didn't really think that Olivia was going to play here tonight.
She's been suffering with a shoulder injury, I believe.
And the second shot put up by Ray Q is also good. That's 5 points on the night. Skiba with a shot, and that's up and in. And already her presence is felt. 9-4 Marathon with a lead. 14 minutes and 40 seconds left to go here in the first half of play. Now some pressure put on by the Assumption Royals. And that's a turnover. That's 2 turnovers on the night. Assumption trying to set it up. Grunhofer to Skiba. Cross-court pass almost thrown away, and now it is thrown away. That's 2 turnovers on the night for the Assumption Royals. Amanda Kind checking in for Honky for the Red Raiders. Now Marathon gets it over the half-court line. Ray Q. And a bad pass. Last touched by Assumption. Macy didn't like the call, but she's going to have to deal with it. So 9-4 is our score in favor of the Red Raiders. And that is Steicher with the ball. It's a cross court to her sister Allison. Kind. Steicher with a shot. That's no good. Last touch by Marathon. And
Assumption might have gotten away with one there because it looked like Zurflu might have had a hand on that before it went out of bounds. But nonetheless, it's Assumption ball.
That may have been a make good call. I'm not exactly sure. So Assumption trying to bring up the ball. Breaks the pressure easy. Kicks it into Grunhofer with a 15-foot J. That's no good. And I think they're going to get Olivia with a push on the inside. That's exactly right. So Olivia picks up her first foul. 14 fouls on the Royals. Anderson back in.
It's a little bit of a surprise. A little bit of a surprise to see Olivia Skibba out there for Assumption, who's been battling some injury issues, and Amanda Kind is also out there for Marathon. She's been battling some injuries. So
it was one of the things both coaches talked about. That you didn't think limited action for Kind, and last touch by Krings of Assumption. So Marathon will inbound, but. Both coaches talking about limited action, and really wasn't even expecting Skibba to see any action here tonight, Brian. So Joel is asking for some. I don't know. He's having a few words with the officials. Not sure what that was all about.
Good block out there by Macy.
Shot by Anderson. That was no good. Rebound Assumption. Driving the length of the court. That's Grunhofer. And Gina gets her first shot on the night. Now Marathon. Another turnover. Krings to Grunhofer. Kicks it inside. She puts up a shot. That's no good. Rebound Skibba. And that's good.
That was a really good drive by Gina there, and then a good follow-up by Skibba, and all of a sudden it's 8-9 with the Royals behind by 1 point at 12:51 to go here in the first half. Not the first quarter.
Not the first quarter, but the first half. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So this evening's live streaming is brought to you by Nakusa Port Edward State Bank, Marshfield Clinic, Paper City Savings, along with Renaissance Learning. So we thank everyone for joining us for the live streaming here tonight, and we'll have coverage of ball games throughout the course of this boys as well as girls basketball action. And Brian, when is our next broadcast?
Well, that's a good question, Dan.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot here.
It would be December 11th, and it will be Assumption versus Newman at Newman.
That is going to be a great contest. I'm going to be out of the country, so I will not be able to enjoy that.
Well, you can watch it, though.
I can. You know what? That's very true. I can actually watch it. You know, on these cruise ships, I'm just not really sure how much they charge for streaming.
Whatever it is, it's worth it. Whatever it is, it's worth it.
That's exactly right. So they're going to get Ray-Q on a. Going to get Ray-Q with a foul, and I believe that is her first, and that is correct. That's the fourth team foul on the Red Raiders. 9-8 our score. Marathon leading the Royals. And we're about 12 minutes and 30 seconds left to go here in the first half of play here at Assumption High School. Wendell's now with the ball. She now drives, puts up a shot. Off the rim and in. So Gracie Wendell gets her first bucket on the night, and the Royals take their first lead.
There's Wendell's again.
And a steal. And back the other way. Solid defense. Both clubs. They almost seem like they're in mid-season form here already, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now Marathon puts up a shot, and that's good by Honky, and that is her 6th point on the night.
That was a beautiful shot by Honky there.
And their second lead. by Marathon. And a steal. We've got Assumption unofficially with 4 turnovers in the contest. 3-point J. Bingo! And that is Alyssa Steeker. So Alyssa with a 3-point J. 14-10. Red Raider advantage. They get the ball inside to Grunhofer. That's poked away by Anderson. Skiba ready to check back in, and she will. She's going to give Krings a little bit of a break. Also in the contest for Assumption, Jolynn Frisch. So Frisch to inbound. Well, now they're going to have Grunhofer inbound here for the Royals. Frisch at the top of the key. Grunhofer now looks to set up. Give and go by Frisch. Put up a shot. That's no good. Rebound by Wendels. That's taken away. And the Red Raiders with the ball. And now there's the Raiders come away with it. Poke checked away by Grunhofer. 3-point J. Good. Anderson with a 3. And that is Anderson's first 3-pointer on the night. So on the season, Marathon has, coming into this ball game, they took 28 3-point attempts and they made 6.
And just like that, they're up 17-10 here. We've got 10:52 to go in the first half. So Assumption took a 1-point lead at 10-9, and they haven't hit a basket since.
So we've actually had one lead change, and that was a 10-9 Royal advantage at that point. So the Red Raiders are on a 8-point run right now. 8-0 run. 17-10. We're just under 11 minutes left to go here in the first half. We'll play here at Assumption High School. Krings to inbound for Assumption. Gets the ball into Macy. Zerflu bringing up the ball. Back to Krings. Macy at the top of the key, drives the lane, almost loses it to Grunhofer on the outside, puts up a shot, that's up and in. Grunhofer with her second basket on the night, and it's a 17-12 Red Raiders advantage. Anderson tries to kick it inside to Honky. That's knocked out of bounds. Ray Q to inbound for the Red Raiders. Long pass on the outside, almost thrown away. Bloom with the ball. Bloom will now drive the lane, puts up a shot. Nice. That was a nice little dish by J.C. Bloom, and it's a 19-12 Red Raider advantage.
Kind of a crow hop move there after a really nice drive into the lane by Bloom. Excellent shot.
Deep pass on the inside, trying to get it to Skiba. She does maintain it. Back to Grunhofer. She puts up the J. That's no good. Rebound, Ray Q. 19-12 Marathon advantage. Anderson now kicks it inside. I think they're going to get Grunhofer with a push. And Gina's like, what did I do? So her first, the team's fifth. Allison Stieber checks back in for Alyssa Stieber. So the sisters, cross-court pass, Honky. Scoop shot no good, rebound Grunhofer, and Assumption goes on the attack. Now Assumption trying to set up everything. Skiba, give and go to Grunhofer. Drives the lane, kicks it back out to Macy. She drives the lane, she puts up a shot. That's no good, and they're going to get Honky. Natasha Honky with her first personal. The team's fifth.
Looked like Gina had a crease to make a shot there on that last play, but Marathon's defense is just converges to the ball and stopped her from making a move there, but Macy did get fouled.
So Jolynn Frisch back into the game for Assumption. checks in for Skiba. Now Assumption looking to set up things. Zerflute drives lane, kicks it back out to Krings. Had an open shot, decided to pass on it. Macy now drives around. Honky, nice pressure put on. Jay put up by Grunhofer. That's no good. Rebound, Rayq. And you can see it already, Brian. I think it's a pretty substantial advantage of rebounding for the Red Raiders here tonight. Honky kicks it off to Anderson. Anderson, nice little 5-foot J, and that's good. Anderson with her 5th point on the night. And we've got a timeout, and Coach Burkhauser is not happy, and he's asking where is the intensity on the young ladies. 21-12 in favor of Marathon. 9 minutes. Let's make that check that. 8 minutes and 37 seconds left to go here in the first half of play.
Well, I think a lot of what you're seeing here is that Marathon they're getting a lot of shots closer to the basket, a lot of high percentage shots. A lot of the shots that Gina's taken so far have been away from the basket, and she hasn't really had a chance to set up very well. It's all been very quick fire kind of stuff, so that makes it difficult on your offense. And then, like you said, Marathon has been getting rebounds, and then they can transition really well.
This evening's live streaming is brought to you by Nakusa Port Edward State Bank, Marshfield Clinic, Paper City Savings, along with Renaissance Learning. And we're glad you're here on a kind of a damp, rainy night in central Wisconsin. As I was driving in, a little bit of freezing rain. I don't know if you witnessed that coming up from Wausau.
Yeah, it was a little bit slick once I got into town. I noticed it looked like it was freezing on the roads a little bit.
There we go. All right, so we're on to the timeout. Let's see what happens here for the Assumption Royals. Once again, our score right now with 8:37 left to go, 21 in favor of Marathon, 12 for the Royals. Zerflute bringing up the ball for Assumption. She drives the lane. She puts up a shot. That's no good. Grunhofer with a rebound. She looked for a shot. That's Krings beyond the baseline. And that's no good. Rebound. Marathon. Bloom with a shot. Wow. And a foul on Macy Zerflute.
Zerflute got in there as though she were boxing out, and she was a little bit maybe too aggressive, but what a shot by Bloom, right?
That was Bloom. And I think that was 3-point.
Yeah, it was.
So this could be a 4-point effort here. And Bloom now with 6 on the night. 23 to make that 24-12 in favor of Marathon. Zerflute gets it into Frisch. To Krings.
This is kind of an important stretch here for Assumption, down 13 early like this with 7:56 to go.
And that's just it. Frisch on the inside, kicks it back out. Now they work the ball inside to Grunhofer, and there's going to be a reach-in. They're going to get Allison Stieber with that.
Everything that Assumption is doing has been contested. Everything. And Marathon, it looks like they're getting a chance to set their feet and take some good shots like that last 3-pointer. So that's kind of the difference, I think, up to this point, is that everything by Assumption has been contested, heavily contested by Marathon's defense. I think their defense has really stood out so far.
Hockey checks in for Anderson for the Red Raiders. Assumption inbounds the ball. Wendels with a 3. That's up and in. So Wendels with her 5th point in the first half. Honky drives lane. She puts up gets great positioning. And she now has 8 on the night. Natasha Honky with 8.
Honky is just so good. She's just so good in the lane, and she's able to finish.
27-14 Marathon advantage. Grunhofer now drives. Wendels. Zerflute top of the key. Again, Assumption just really trying to be patient. Kind of a bad pass. Another turnover. That's 5 unofficially. Honky once again gets it in. Rebound. Marathon puts it up, and she is fouled. And that is Allison Stieber. So Allison will go to the line for the first time tonight. 2 shots.
Stieber with excellent position there on that follow-through, and she got hacked definitely as she went up. 27-14, Marathon leading.
First shot is up and no good. Crowns, along with Linsmeyer to check in for Krings and Wendels. And the second shot by Stieber. And in. Her first point on the night.
Assumption looking for any kind of spark here offensively. They just haven't been able to get much going.
Down by 14 points, 28-14 in favor of the Red Raiders. Zerflug brings the ball up. Pressure put on by Denfeld. Now just trying to be patient, work the ball around. Crowns gets it into Grunhofer. Gina, nice move. Rebound, Skiba, no good. Rebound, Grunhofer puts it back up, no good. Rebound by Rayq. Kind with the ball. And that's a travel. 5 turnovers on the Red Raiders, 28-14, 6 minutes and 17 seconds left to go here in the first half of play. Crowns to inbound for the Royals.
I'm not sure what the Royals' shooting percentage is right now, but it's not very high, and this is kind of reminiscent of that Loyal game, especially in the first half where they just couldn't buy a basket. The last possession, Gina had a really good look at it, and then Olivia had another good look. They just can't get it to go in right now.
So they work the ball inside. That's poke checked away. And Rayq. And that is that's one of the things that was going to worry that Joe Burkhauser was concerned about tonight, and that is the run and gun style of the Marathon Red Raiders. And it's very evident at this point. Jolyn Frisch in, Stieber in, Krings in, Zerflug out for the Red Raiders. Kind is out for Marathon. And so Morgan will try to get her 7th point on the night, and that is up and in. And a 29-14 Red Raider advantage. The second shot by Morgan, that is up, and that is also in. And I believe I've got Morgan with 7 points on the night. So Rayq with 7. 30-14. Red Raider advantage. Almost it was a bad pass to Crowns. And really tenacious defense being put on by Marathon.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to credit Marathon with their defense. Their half-court sets have been good. I don't think the press has given them all that much trouble, but like I said, everything is just contested.
Krings now with the ball for Assumption. With a Linsmeyer. Give and go by Olivia, and that is a little bit too far, and another turnover for, it's 7 unofficial turnovers by the Royals tonight. 30-14. Stieber near side. Top of the key by Denfeld. Anderson now with the ball for Marathon. Denfeld. Back to Stieber. Stieber now drives, kicks it back outside. Cross-court pass. Now Marathon being very patient. Kick it back outside to Honke with a 3. That's good. Wow. That's 11 points on the night for Natasha Honke, and it is a 33-14 Red Raider advantage. 4 minutes and 45 seconds left to go here in the first half of play. Krings now working to get it inside to Skiba. Skiba put it up, gets her own rebound, put it back up, and she's going to go to the free throw line.
Well, I guess I didn't really expect this. we've watched these teams battle, and the games have been so close every time that they've played, and Marathon has really taken advantage of, defensively, like I said, everything is contested. They're taking good shots. They're making shots. Honky's been really good. Made some outside shots.
And
just about everything is going right for Marathon right now.
It really is, and I'm sure Coach Snyder is really tickled pink about this, or tickled red. 33-15 in favor of the Red Raiders. 4 minutes and 33 seconds left. So Skiba, 5 points on the night, trying to make it 6. Shot up, no good. Rebound, Marathon. Rayq now bringing the ball up to Bloom. Now Marathon's going to work the ball around, be patient here. Now drives the lane. Bloom kicks it back outside. Rayq on the top of the key.
Marathon just has a flow to their offense. I think Assumption's been really struggling. It's been kind of disjointed. But Marathon, it's like they're not panicking. They're running. And I suppose you can do that when you're up by the margin that they are. But
you're right. Yeah, and almost a 3 taken. Thought about it. There's 3s available for everybody if they take it. Anderson with a shot. That's no good. Fouled her shot with a rebound. Last touch by the Royals. 3 minutes and 45 seconds left to go here in the first half of play. 33-15 Red Raider advantage. Now Marathon gets it inside. Back out. And it's nice to watch the Red Raiders in action right now. Anderson with a 3. That's no good. Rebound, Grunhofer. And you're right. They really have a great flow to what they're specifically doing. And Assumption just looks just a little discombobulated at this point. Now Skiba with a bad pass. On the inside, that's 8 turnovers by Assumption. Back the other way. And that's good by Jackie Bloom. JC Bloom, thank you. And 8 points on the night for Bloom.
Bloom poked that one away there too. So again, that aggressive defense, everything being contested, everything.
Wendels will check back in for Skiba. Crowns out. Autumn Linsmeyer back in for the Royals. Kind in for the Red Raiders. Anderson gets a little bit of a breather. 35-15 advantage Red Raiders. Inside to Grunhofer. She puts up a shot. That's no good. Rebound Honky. Now Honky driving. Almost a turnover. And I'm not sure who they called it on here, Brian.
Honky, I guess.
It's still not up on the scoreboard at this point. And that is the second personal foul on Natasha Honky. Under 2.5 left to go here in the first half of play. Almost stolen. And now a scramble. Long lead pass to Steker, and that is good. So Stever with her 5th basket on the night. It's a 37-15 advantage. So 5 points on the night for Alyssa Steker.
Looks like they're attending to Honky there. I don't know if maybe it kind of looked like she had the wind knocked out of her or something. I'm not quite sure what it was. Just kind of holding her stomach.
So 2:22 left to go here in the first half of play, and it's been all Marathon to this point. And they're going to get a reach-in foul on Rayq, and that is her second. So that's one of the things that you got to worry about at this point. You don't want to get yourself into foul trouble being up this. It's good to be aggressive, but you don't want to be too doggone aggressive.
Reikyu has been aggressive in every facet of the game so far, defensively and driving to the hoop. So, a little too aggressive that time.
So Grunhofer will go to the line. 4 points have really been kept in check here in the first half of play. And that is up and in. 5 points on the night for Gina. And it's a 37-16 Marathon advantage. Second shot put up by Grunhofer, and that's good. 6 points on the night. 20-point advantage. Red Raiders, heavy pressure now put on, and they call a timeout. So a good timeout, just to give the young ladies a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, they were kind of in no man's land down there, double teamed, and that would probably have been a turnover if they hadn't called a timeout. So a smart move there by Marathon.
So right now, the season average, and she's close to it. Morgan Reikyu been averaging 10.5 points a contest. J.C. Bloom has been averaging 10 points. And Honky has been averaging 10 points. So Honky's already over her season average, and the other two are very, very close to it.
We still have a half left to play here, too.
Yes. 3-point bomb put up by Steeker, and that is her 8th point on the night. And it's a 40-17 advantage, Red Raiders. Krings now looking for a little bit of help. Gets it into Grunhofer. Give and go to Linsmeyer. That's up and in. So Autumn with her first bucket on the night. 40-19. Bloom has now hit her season average. Another bucket, 42-19 Marathon. Wendell's now with the ball for Assumption, top of the key. Gets it over to Grunhofer, far side. Give and go, and a bad pass. 9 turnovers by the Royals. It's not really what I would call, Brian, at this point, the turnovers haven't been all that bad. It's just been the Assumption just has not been able to capitalize on a lot of buckets tonight.
Yeah, and they're just a half second slow on offense. If that pass gets there a little bit earlier, they've got an easy bucket. But again, credit Marathon's defense. I mean, they've just been all over the place.
That's right.
Stifling.
We're under 45 seconds left to go. Another 3 taken by Marathon. That is no good. Rebound, Reikyu, and that's up and in. She has just dominated the boards on the inside. So 44-19 advantage, Marathon. Grunhofer now with the J in and out rebound, Frisch, and that's good. So Jolynn Frisch with her first bucket on the night, 44-21 advantage. And we've got a turnover. Unofficially 6 turnovers for the Red Raiders. And just a couple of ticks left on the clock. See what kind of adjustments Assumption makes here at the half. Krings to inbound. Linsmeyer in and out of her hands. 10 turnovers now on Assumption. 3-pointer taken by Anderson. The Red Raiders are having some fun right at this point.
Yeah, they've put on quite a clinic here, leading 44-21 at halftime. We'll step away for a second here and be right back with more live streaming action right here on CentralWisconsinSports.net. Stay with us. Second half will be coming up.
And once again, welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen, to CentralWisconsinSports.net. Van Patrick Oates along with Brian Kalish. And Brian, we witnessed a marathon domination in the first half of play.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no other way to put it. Offensively, they were solid. Defensively, they were causing a lot of problems. And I think one of the things you mentioned at the start of the broadcast was Joe Burkhauser saying that Assumption needed to let the game come to them a little bit. And what I've seen is that they've been forcing a whole lot of stuff, and they just, you get into a situation where you get down a little bit, you start pressing, turning the ball over, making bad passes, and all of a sudden it kind of snowballs. And I think that's what we've seen. And that's not to take anything away from Marathon, because their defense has been really, really good.
They've had a tenacious defense, and I mean, and they have dominated on the not only on the offensive side from a rebounding perspective, but also from a defensive perspective.
And they've been on the glass, too.
Yes.
And, I mean, even 50-50 type balls that coaches talk about all the time, it seems like they're the ones that are coming up with them. But they just have so much poise on offense. They're not making bad passes. No. They're being patient. They're taking the outside shots when they're there. They're driving into the lane, getting fouled a lot of times when they have a chance to do that. I mean, Honke and, J.C. Bloom has been in there a little bit. Reikiu's been all over the place.
Oh, she's just had a tremendous game, and just absolutely outstanding. I go back to one of the things that Joel said, pregame in my pregame interview with him, and he said, defensively, they have to play solid defense on both sides of the court. So not only, offensively, but also defensively. So I mean, it goes both ways. But they had to play from start to finish, and I think that's probably what's frustrating Joel so much, from the standpoint of he's just frustrated because he's just not seeing that intensity, the defensive effort that's being put forward.
Right, and I think that, like we mentioned too, Marathon has played some really good competition to this point. They played Marshfield and lost a close game. And they kind of put the hurt on DC Everest a little bit, but they just feel it seems like they have so much confidence, and it looks like they all know where everybody's going to be on the offensive side of the floor. They know where everybody's going to be when they're in that press. They know where everybody is going to be on the half court defensive sets too. And I think that Assumption is not playing with a whole lot of confidence right now, and they're just sort of out of rhythm. And like I said, when it's not like Assumption didn't have shots. They did have some shots, some bunnies that they missed, and some layups, made some bad passes. And like I said before, that just kind of snowballs when you're playing a really good defense, and all of a sudden you find yourself down by 23 points at halftime.
And really what has happened at this point, the crowd is out of it.
Yeah,
I mean, the crowd is really out of it. But, one of the things that Jeff Schneider talked about in that Marshfield contest, and he goes, yeah, we lost by 3 points, but the girls never gave up. At one point in that contest, they were down by 17 points.
Yeah, amazing.
And I mean, and to come back and to get it close, and with Anderson being a spark plug for the Red Raiders, and you can see that out on the court. I mean, the young ladies really flow well. So I mean, to their credit. Hey, Brian, let's look at some first half statistics here from a scoring standpoint for the Marathon Red Raiders. 44 points in that first half. Julie Anderson with a three-pointer, and she had 5 points. Alyssa Stieber had 8 points. J.C. Bloom with 10. Morgan Reikiu with 10. Allison Stieber with 1 point. That was on the free throw line. And Natasha Honke, she had 11 points. And so what I see is Reikiu, Honke, as well as Bloom, all with their season or above season average here for the Red Raiders. For the Assumption Royals, they were led in scoring by Gina Grunhofer. She had 6 points. Gracie Windles had 5. 5 for Kristen Linsmeyer. Olivia Skiba. Kristen Linsmeyer did not have any. She did show up in the box score. Olivia Skiba had 5. Jolyn Frisch had 2. Autumn Linsmeyer with 2, and Macy Zerfler with 2. And I think right there's a key. Macy has had a number of shots that just have not dropped for Assumption to this point.
And I think it's the same thing with Gina. You know, she's had she's been pressured, you know, and a lot of what she's doing is taking those step back kind of quick shots, which are that's hard for anybody to make. And then she's missed some that have been kind of closer inside. And what we talked about at the beginning of the game was that was their game plan going in, is that they wanted to stop Grundhofer and they wanted to stop Zerflu, and they did exactly that in the first half. So if the Royals want to have any success, they're going to have to find some way to get Zerflu going and also get Gina going.
So you're Coach Burkhauser, you're at the half. What do you tell your young ladies?
I mean, I think it's what he said in the pregame is you got to let the game come to you a little bit. I mean, it's I think the tendency for players is to want to really force things and to really force the issue, but you can't score 23 points on 2 possessions, so you just have to take it 1 possession at a time and try to work towards the basket and get Gina involved. But run the offense and get comfortable in the offense and start getting some kind of a flow going. That's the best I could come up with as a coach. Like I said, I'm not a coach. I'm up here in the crow's nest.
So I liked it, Brian. It was good.
Thank you.
It was insightful.
I think for Marathon, the message is pretty simple. Just keep doing what you've been doing because it's been working really well. So.
Don't change anything at this point. Moret with the ball. And just like that, we've got a turnover. Seven turnovers on the Red Raiders. Just underway here in the second half. Play 44-21 Raider advantage. Wendell's the ball. Linsmeyer. I think that's one of the other keys. There's Zerflu. She drives.
Just
in and out. Long pass. Honky. Puts up a scoop shot. That's no good. Another rebound. Red Raiders. That was no good. And they're going to get.
I'm not sure if it's Gina or Macy. Gina, I guess.
Gina. They're going to call Gina with that. Okay.
Gina looking for a little bit of explanation there. And it's Raiku at the line.
So Raiku with 10 points in that first half. 11 now on the night. Season average 10.5. So she's above her season average. 45-21 Red Raiders. Second shot, that's no good. Rebound, Autumn Linsmeyer. Now Zerflu looking to drive. Raiku playing some solid defense on her. Grundhofer. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Krings. Give and go to Grundhofer. Tried to tap it off to Linsmeyer, and that was poked away.
By guess who?
Was it Morgan?
Really good cover there defensively for Raiku, getting the kind of closing down that back end there.
Krings to inbound for Assumption. Wendell's puts up a shot inside the paint. That's no good. Rebound. Grundhofer. And she gets tied up by Bloom. Krings to inbound. Just underway here in the second half of play. 16:50 left to go. 45-21 Marathon advantage. Grundhofer. Gina almost looks like she's getting a little bit frustrated. Zerflu puts up another shot. That's no good. Gets her on the rebound and back up and in. So Macy with just her 4th point on the night. And it's a 45-23 Marathon advantage.
That was a good drive by Macy, and she's really been doing that all game, but she just hasn't been able to finish.
Bloom kicks it back outside. Thought about a 3 for Moret. Last touch by Assumption. Raiku to inbound. Moret with the ball. Ray Q kicks it back outside Anderson. Cross-court pass to Honky. She'll now drive the lane, puts up a shot. That's up and in. Natasha with her 13th point on the night. 47-23 Marathon lead.
Once Honky gets that deep, it's really hard to do anything to stop her. I mean, she's just so good around the hoop.
And she uses her body really well from a positioning standpoint. Linsmeyer, long toss on the inside. 11 turnovers on Assumption. 15 minutes and 40 seconds left to go here in the second half of play. 24-point advantage in favor of Marathon. Ray Q. Oh, right around the back. Beautiful shot. And they're going to get Zerflug with the. So Macy.
I guess they got Grundhofer.
Oh, they called Gina with that?
I think so, yeah. That's her third.
Okay. So you need Gina in the game. You can't really pull her at this point. Long pass, almost stolen by Wendels. Cross-court pass.
Oh,
Three-point by Ray Q. That's no good. Rebound. Anderson's going to get called with over the back.
That was a really long shot there by Ray Q.
That was. So just the first on Anderson from a team foul standpoint. 47-23 Red Raiders. Ball into Gina. Turnaround Jay. That's
it's been like that every time.
It's just like there's a cover on the net tonight. Anderson, Ray Q, near side.
That's 4 on Gina now. I guess it's double foul there.
Double foul.
And she's going to have to come out of the game now.
Yep. 4 fouls on Gina. And Oliva Moret with just her second.
Frisch comes in for Grundhofer.
So Anderson to inbound on the near side. Bloom now with the ball. Dribbles. Back out to Moret. Honky. Moret. Anderson. Just a real crisp flow to their offense here, Brian.
That was a good defensive play by Macy there to close off the back end because Reiki would have had an easy bucket there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they're moving the ball really well. Crisp passes. They know, like I said, where everybody's going to be. And a lot of what they're doing is like driving towards the lane, sucking the defense down, and then kicking it back out.
Kicking it back outside. I mean, and it's pretty consistent. Turnover on the Red Raiders, just unofficially just the 8th on the night. So Macy Zerflu at the top of the key. There's Frisch. Linsmeyer thought about a three. Now drives the lane. Macy Zerflu good. That is her 6th point on the evening. It's 47-25 Marathon lead.
Zerflu's been making that same move basically all second half where she just takes it baseline. That time she pulled up a little bit early and hit the jumper.
Reiki on the outside. Kicks it into Moret. Back to Honky. Anderson thought about a three. Rebound. Frisch. Long lead pass to Krings. Looking for a little bit of help. Now gets it back out to Macy at the top of the key. So Zerflu drives. Kicks it to Linsmeyer. 3-point shot. That's no good by Krings. Rebound. Stolen by Linsmeyer. And Moret with a rebound, and she was fouled. by Crings. 47-25. 13 minutes and 18 seconds left to go here in the second half of play. So Alyssa Stieber checking in for the Red Raiders. Q on the top. Stieber. Honky. Near side. Now Marathon just trying to work a little clock. Be patient. Take your time. Get your open look and then fire it up. So patient. And that three-point effort put up by Natasha Honky, that was no good. 47-25. Krings to inbound for Assumption. Zerflu. Ray Q on her. Wendels almost trapped, gets away. Looking for a little bit of help. Zerflu out with the ball. Wendels near side. Fritsch inside. Bad pass. Turnover. Assumption 12 unofficially on the night.
They've been trying that dump down pass underneath all night long, and I don't know if it's worked once. They just had, the defense is too good, so it's hard to make that pass down there to begin with. You got bodies in there, it's difficult to get it in, and they've thrown that one away more times than they've connected.
You're right about that. Crowns checking in for Assumption along with Kristen Linsmeyer. Now Marathon goes on the attack. Stieber.
Poked away by Linsmeyer there.
So Anderson will get a breather here for the Red Raiders. J.C. Bloom back in. Cross-court pass. Ray Q. Stieber. Allison. Moret. It's a turnover on Marathon, and they called Bloom with a screen pick. Crowns to inbound. We're 11 minutes and 45 seconds left to go here in the second half of play. 47-25. The Red Raiders. It's been all Red Raiders. Long three. That's in. Jolyn Frisch. That's 5 on the night for Jolyn. (47-27), 20-point Red Raider lead. And it just keeps going. That was Stieber with a bucket.
That's when they teach you when you're in about 5th grade. You'll give and go.
And a bad pass. Last touch by Macy.
Macy's lucky she didn't get a foul on that one too.
I'm surprised he didn't call it. 13 turnovers on the Royals. 9 turnovers for Marathon. (49-27), Red Raider advantage. That's Ray Q. Stieber. Long pass to Bloom. She took she was just on the line. I wouldn't have called that a 3.
I think that was Moret.
Yep, it is. And that is her 3rd. Kind. Honky checking back in. Moret takes a seat. As well as Allison Stieber. Crowns to inbound for the Royals. Macy looking for a little bit of help. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, if she just lost the handle on that, but it's another turnover. That's 14 on the night for the Royals. Kind, cross-court pass. Q. And that's it. They're going to call Assumption with a push 2-4. That's Zurfluh.
Yeah, I don't know if that was right, but I guess that's who they called it on.
Okay.
That's 4 on Zurfluh, too. So Gina and Zurfluh both with 4 fouls.
And Honke gets another bucket. 15 on the night for Natasha Honke. 51-27, and we are under 10 to go here in the second half. Scoop pass is no good, and Zurfluh will go to the line. So right now, everything going brightly colored for the Marathon Red Raiders.
Yeah, it's been a clinic, to say the least.
Macy's first attempt, that is no good. Macy with 6 points on the night. Ray Q get a breather. So Zurfluh with the second free throw attempt, and that's good. That's 7 points on the night. 9:55, and Macy will take a breather. (51-28). Denfeld. Now Marathon working the ball around. To Kind. No good. Kind gets the ball. Cross-court pass to Bloom. Back to Stieber. That's taken away. That's 10 turnovers on the Red Raiders. Crowns. Wendell's top of the key. Linsmeyer now looking to work it. Fresh. Wendell's near side. Marathon's defense is just, it's almost like they're like the Energizer Bunnies. They just keep going and going here tonight. Just high-powered pressure, energy. Kind is fouled.
Well, I mean, the other thing is when you take Assumption's 2 leading scorers out of the game, that puts a lot of pressure on the remaining Royals to be able to find somebody who's gonna score. So the Royals are in a little bit of trouble here with Macy on the bench and Gina also on the bench with 4 fouls. So it's just the scoring options are a little bit limited for Assumption right now.
You're right. Carson Bushman checks in for Kristen Linsmeyer. 51-28. 8 minutes and 45 seconds left to go here in the second half of play here at Assumption High School. It's been all Red Raiders. Anderson into Kind. 3-second violation, I believe. That's what they're going to call, 3-second violation. And just like that, I think my pen just died on me. Oh, it's operational again, Brian. We're safe.
I know everybody at home was worried about that.
I'm sure they were. It's like, man, what are you going to do? Linsmeyer drives the lane, puts up a shot. That's up and in.
A little stop and pop there by Linsmeyer.
Her 4th point on the night, 51-30 advantage. Kind, near side. Anderson at the top of the key. Denfeld. Back to Anderson. Jeff Schneider, he was talking about Anderson, and she's like Assumption's Autumn Linsmeyer as a little bit of a spark plug. They just have that high energy. Work the ball inside to Kind. That shot is up, no good. Rebound, Red Raiders. Anderson kicking it back. Honke looking to drive. Great positioning, I thought, by Linsmeyer. but they will get her with a block.
Well, I think Autumn did everything that you teach a defensive player to do in that instance, which is to cut him off on the baseline. She seemed to be straight up and down, but got called for the foul nonetheless.
So Krings will check back in. Denfeld out for the Red Raiders. Crowns out for the Royals. 7:35 left to go here in the second half. 51-30 Red Raider advantage. First shot up and in by Hockey. At 16 points on the night. It is above her season average of 10. Second shot no good. Krings with the rebound. Linsmeyer. Krings now looking for a little bit of help. Wendels back out to Carson Bushman. Linsmeyer at the top of the key will now drive the lane, puts up a jump shot, no good. A little scoop shot, and she was fouled. And so Linsmeyer will go to the free throw line.
Looks like Autumn's kind of been taking it upon herself to jumpstart the offense here with the last two possessions. She's kind of made that similar move into the lane. Fouled on that last one, but she made the first one. She went in.
So they're going to get Bloom with her second. And Autumn's shot, first free throw is good. So that's 5 points on the afternoon, or I should say on the evening, for Autumn Linsmeyer. Second shot by Linsmeyer, and that's good. 6 points for Autumn here this afternoon. Getting ready to check back in. It's Moret for Marathon. 52-32, 20-point Red Raider advantage. Ken caught about a three, moved it in. Rebound Linsmeyer. Linsmeyer loses it. 15 turnovers on Assumption. Hockey drives the lane, and that's up and in.
She makes even the difficult shots look easy.
That's right. 18 points on the night for Hockey. Just having a great game.
Yeah, keep an eye on her for the rest of the season.
Linsmeyer, now Assumption trying to work it around. 6 minutes and 15 seconds left. 54-32.
Good pass.
Linsmeyer on the inside, and that's up and in.
Good pass by Krings there to find Linsmeyer. Just kind of creeped down into the lane.
8 points on the night. Leading scorer right now for Assumption, Autumn Linsmeyer. So we're under 6. Bloom with a long three. That's no good. Rebound. Now a mad scramble. And Kin was fouled as she went up, and she's going to try to capitalize on a three-point effort.
Looks like the Red Raiders are trying to get Kin to kick off a little bit of the rust. I think she's been injured for the first couple of games of the season, so
She was.
she's got some playing time here and is doing pretty well so far. Of course, Assumption fans will remember her sister, Emily, last year, and she was a terror on Assumption every game that they played.
Kin tries to convert the three-point effort. That's no good, but guess who rebounded? Ray Q. I mean, she is just, she is on that offensive board. Anderson, near side. Kind. Anderson tried a little give and go. Krings. Wendels. She puts up a shot. That's in. So Gracie Wendels, 5. She was shut down. She had 5 in the first half. Shut down to this point here in the second half. Gets her 7th point on the afternoon, and it's still a 20-point Marathon advantage, 56-36. We're under 5 left to go here in the second half of play. Ball taken away. Wendels. Another drive again. So Jeff Schneider trying to take any momentum away. It's been a long time since we've seen an 18-point lead.
Seems like it's been over 20 for the majority of the game.
That's right.
And with the length of these games, is it midnight yet, or are we into December 2nd here, or no?
Sure seems like it. It's not February 1st, yeah.
Right.
This is not a Groundhog's Day that anyone would ever want to remember, and especially if you're an Assumption fan or alumnus. And again, this evening's live streaming brought to you by Nakusa Port Edward State Bank, Marshfield Clinic, Paper City Savings, along with Renaissance Learning, and we're certainly happy that these they're sponsoring tonight's broadcast. Brian, if someone would like to be a sponsor on the live streaming, what do they do?
Absolutely, they can get a hold of us through email at centralwisconsinsports@gmail.com, or they could call me 715-923-8622. We'd love to have you be a part of the broadcast. And I'll also mention that these are recorded and uploaded to YouTube. So as we get the game report together for tonight, you can come back to the site and check out the recording of this. I don't know how many Assumption fans are going to want to watch the recording of this, but it will be there for your viewing pleasure from now until the end of time, digitally preserved in perpetuity.
And you are a UW-Madison alumnus, aren't you?
I worked on that on the way down, actually.
Anderson with the shot. That's no good. They're going to get, I believe, Morat. I thought that was over the back.
I think it was. That might be it for Morat. Yeah, it is. Her 5th foul. So Morat sits down and Honky comes in.
I didn't have her with any points on the night, but she was certainly a force on the inside. She had pulled down several key rebounds on that first half. 56-38. It's bonus time. 4:21 left to go here in the second half of play. It's Gracie Wendell. She'll go to the line. And that's good. She's got Gracie, now the leading scorer here for Assumption with 10 points on the night. And the second, that's up and no good. Rebound, Anderson. Ray Q with the ball. 56-39. 56-39. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left. Ray Q at the top of the key. Anderson just trying to eat a little bit of that clock up. Working the ball around, being very, very patient. Under 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in this second half of play. 56-39 Marathon. Ray Q. It's almost like watching a Dean Smith, North Carolina team use some clock.
Very fundamentally sound.
That was one of the things Joe Burkhauser talked about, how fundamentally sound this ball club is. Drives the lane, kicks it back outside. Now under 3 minutes left to go here in the second half. Ray Q thought about a three. Just going to play a little catch here. Looking for the open shot. And they're going to get Krings with a foul. So Kristen Linsmeyer will come into the ball game. Nice hand for Gracie Wendels. 10 points on the night. And Alyssa Stieber. 10 points on the night, make that 11. So Alyssa's had a really nice game here for the Red Raiders. Second shot is good. 12 points for Stieber, Alyssa. 58-39, back to a 19-point Marathon advantage. Krings takes a three-point shot. That's up and in. Downtown, Krings. That's her first bucket on the night. 3 points for Mason. 58-42 as we approach 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this contest. It's been all Marathon here, folks. Stieber. Ray Q. Bloom, near side. Top of the key. We're under 2 minutes left to go here in the second half. And Marathon just going to play a little catch here and just wait for one of the Assumption girls to follow. And there was that foul.
Fresh, maybe.
And that's exactly right.
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
You're good.
Yeah.
Your eyesight's better than mine is, too. I think it's because you're taller. You're substantially taller.
I eat a lot of carrots.
I ate my carrots today. It's not helping, Brian. It's just not. Oh, good heavens.
Second wave coming in here for Marathon.
Rihanna Sweeney, number 11. Ashley Denfeld. There's some other young ladies that I missed. Both Stiebers are on the floor. And Kind. (59-42). 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go here in the second half of play. Give and go. Jolynn puts it up. That's no good.
I think that was Kristen there.
So Kristen Lensmeyer with her first bucket on the night. (59-44). Kind now with the ball inside to Stieber. Kicks it out to Sweeney. Shot put up by Kind over the back. So that is Kind's first. So Krings to the line here for Assumption. First shot is no good. Rebound Stieber to Stieber. (59-44). 25 seconds left to go here in the second half of play. Red Raiders. Kind now looking for a little bit of help. Kicks it off to Sweeney. We're under 5 seconds.
I think Marathon content just to let this one run out.
I kind of think that's exactly right. So our final score, 59-44, Marathon over the Assumption Royals. And there was one lead change. It was way back early in the contest, Brian, and that was a 10-9 Assumption advantage, and the Red Raiders went on a 9-0 run, and then just dominated for the rest of the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a really impressive performance by the Red Raiders. It really isn't much that you can pick out that they did wrong. They got everybody involved. Defensively in the half-court set, they were really packing it in, contesting every shot. They really took Gina Grundhofer and Macy Zerflew out of the game. Macy had a little bit of a flurry there in the second half, but for the most part, they kept her in check. Offensively, I think the Marathon Red Raiders must have had 4 or so players that were in double figures. Honke was huge in the lane. She's a difficult offensive player to stop. Morgan Rakeu is just all over the place. So, what can you say? They were dominant in every aspect of the game, and now we'll sit atop the Marywood South. And of course, we only got one conference game under our belts here, but this is an impressive showing, and I think they probably served notice to the rest of the conference after winning like this on the road, nonetheless. So, very impressive performance.
Saying, beware, we won conference last year. We're not going to get knocked off this pedestal quite so easily here, folks. So, yes, the Marathon Red Raiders in pretty dominating fashion here tonight. Winners over the Assumption Royals by a final score of 59-44. Let's just take a look at the scores. We do want to make mention that the in that JV contest, the Marathon also victorious over the Assumption Royals tonight by a final score of 44-35. 44-35 in that JV contest. So for the Marathon Red Raiders victors tonight, they were led in scoring by Natasha Honke. She had 18 points. Morgan Rakeu had 11. J.C. Bloom had 10. Alyssa Stieber had 13. 5 for Julia Anderson, and 1 point for Allison Stieber. Oh, and I forgot Amanda Kend had 2 points. For the Assumption Royals, they were led in scoring by Gracie Wendell. She had 10 points. Gina Grundhofer totally shut down in the second half. But she did get into foul trouble, and she did not fall out of the game, but Coach Burkhauser just sat her down, and I think that was frustrating. She was frustrated that she just couldn't make a number of shots, and that was one of those pieces. Macy Zerflew had 7. Autumn Linsmeyer had 8. Olivia Skiba with 7. For her first action since coming back, that was nice to see. Skiba in the contest, and Jolyn Frisch had 5, and then Mason Krings, if I didn't say that, she had 3 points on the night. And again, this evening's live streaming brought to you by Nakusa Port Edward State Bank, Marshfield Clinic, Paper City Savings, along with Renaissance Learning. We certainly appreciate your sponsorships and helping making this thing, run like a smooth machine, just like my colleague in crime here, Brian Kalish. Brian, any words of wisdom, final words of wisdom here for before we sign off here tonight?
Well, I think as far as Assumption goes, it's just a long season, and they've played some really tough teams here at the beginning of the season, and I think that obviously they have some things that they need to work on, but as the saying goes, you're never as bad as you think you are when you lose a game, and you're probably not as good as you think you are when you win some games. So they've got a long season left. They're going to be right in the mix at the end of the season, again, just like they always are. So I would expect a lot of improvement out of the team, and it'll be interesting to watch these two match up later on in the season. As far as Marathon, it's the message for them would be just keep doing what you're doing. Yes. Not only are they aggressive, but they're in control and they have a lot of poise, and I think we mentioned that a little bit earlier. So, they'll be tested, I think, throughout the season too. The Marywood South is a really, really tough conference, but right now they look really, really good. So I think as long as they avoid the injury bug, they too are going to be difficult to knock off of their perch on top of the standings.
Couldn't agree with you more. Our next broadcast here on CentralWisconsinSports.net will be December the 11th. That is the same Assumption ladies. They will be taking on the Wausau Newman Cardinals in a game up in Wausau, and I believe you and
I believe Mark Skiba will be manning the broadcast booth.
We'll be doing that. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, although the season has just begun. But
yes.
I feel like I'm leaving, But it's all part of it.
Yeah.
Long basketball season as it happens, and I believe my next broadcast here on CentralWisconsinSports.net will be sometime in the month of January. So I think I've got 3 broadcasts in January. So
cool.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We really, really do appreciate it. CentralWisconsinSports.net, and again, feel free to reach out to Brian Kalish if you'd like to be a sponsor of the live streaming. Of course, it's once we record it, it's permanent. So that's always a great thing. So people will always see your message over and over and over again. So on behalf of my broadcast partner, Brian Kalish, I'm Van Patrick Oates. Have yourself a great evening. God bless. And good night, everyone. Our final score, once again, the Marathon Red Raiders, 59. The Assumption Royals, 44.